Hey guys, this is Chad, aka Chad Can't Color. I'm up at the Angelus headquarters today in Los Angeles, getting ready to show you guys how to do a little freestyle on some Tims with the Suede dye and their dye liner pins. Alright guys, before we begin, I'm going to go over all the different products that we're going to be using today. Before you even see the shoes, we're going to be using Angelus brush right here. It's good to clean, to prep the suede, get it just nice and clean, get the dust off, the dirt off. Microfiber cloth, always handy to clean up spills, messes, and wiping down the shoe finally before you get ready to start painting. Moving on to the brand of dyes that we're using today. It's actually leather dye versus suede. The leather is a little bit more, permanent and dark. So for what I'm going to be doing, it's going to show up a little bit better and show the artwork off. All right, today we're going to be using two different types of pins. We've got the medium to large pin that has a chisel tip, nice little pointed edge on one side, flat broad edge on the other side, and a little bevel on that. All those actually will come into play later for making different types of lines and techniques. The other pin we have is a little guy, drop that. Little pin tip, good for the detail work, real fine lines, and a little bit of shading stuff that I'll show you later. This is basically the inside of the dye pin. You take the dye, you stick it in, fill it up, put it back in, and we're good to go. On these dyes, they basically stain anything that they touch, so Angelus actually provides you a box that helps stabilize it if you have shaky hands and think you're going to knock it over. So you take your dye out, you take your box, pop the perforated holes into it, and it kind of gives a little bit more stable, spot so that when you open it, you're not spilling it and ruining everything. And then all you're going to do on these is you take the inside of the paint pen, stick it in. You can see right away it starts to fill it up. Just stick it in there until it completely fills. And carefully, without trying to drip it everywhere, you want to stick it in the pen. And then it came with this little tiny cap. The dye has to work itself through it. You can actually, if you start looking, it starts to zoom in. It's down there. And then again, you're good. Kind of get the excess off, wipe the tip, and the pins are prepped now. Alright, so now that I got all my pins filled up with the dye, basically they all look the same, and myself, I know, would probably screw it up and grab the wrong one and put the wrong color on the shoe. I'm going to take trusty Sharpie and label each pin quickly to know what color it is without having to open the cap. Alright, today we're doing tried and true classic Timberlands. Big ol' honkers here. Basically, that's it. You gotta get them ready. So, like any normal, getting ready for a custom, first things first, take the laces out. These are a little bit different than normal. There's no taping, there's no pre-drawing, there's no anything because it's a total freestyle custom, and with the suede dye liners, you really can't draw on it first, or you can see the pen or the pencil or whatever it is that you're using underneath of it. Since we're not coloring the whole entire shoe and we're just putting artwork on the shoe, it's even more important because we want to keep that texture nice and soft, and we want to be able to see the artwork nice without having it change the actual feel and look of the stock Tim. What you want to do with these, since it is a kind of nubuck suede, you want to take the little brush here that they provide, Angelus does, give it a nice little scrub down. It's pretty basic, but what it does is it kind of gets the texture ready to apply for the dye pen, or dye liner rather. And also if there's any dirt, debris, dust, anything from sitting around, it'll take care of that. Just like you're prepping any other custom, you just want to make sure it's nice and clean and good to go, because that way it'll turn out better in the end. Alright, we're ready to begin, but a lot of times you have these shoes, these things are almost 200 bucks, so you don't really want to just go at it and hope for the best. If you want to see what color your dye is going to look like, because it does look different than what it looked like in the bottle, you can actually, on these particular shoes, under here you'll never see it because when it's folded over it's going to be hidden by the laces, so you can look, okay, here's my medium brown, take it in here, it's a little tiny dot, that way you can see kind of how it works out if you can see that on camera. And I just do that with each color that I have. So then I got my chocolate, should be a little bit darker, and it is, it kind of matches the top cuff a little bit better. And then I have my gold, which is right here, which is a nice brilliant kind of yellow. put that over top. On these, it dries really quick. So basically, you put it down, it's there for the life of the shoe. This is a little cheat sheet. You can look, you have it, and that way you can see what it's gonna look like before you start doing the outside, and no one's ever gonna know, no one's gonna care. Chisel tip is a little bit of a trick to it here and there. So I'd recommend, if you've never used this, grab a piece of paper and just kind of run with it a little bit, figure out the different lines on it, because this one pin can make about 5 different lines. It can also make good little whips. And also you have to think about it if you're doing curves, how it's going to affect it, because if you want to make a nice skinny thing and you're using it the wrong way, it's going to look kind of crappy. So get the feel and handle for that before you start running your shoes. Alright, so we're getting ready to start. I'm going to go ahead and actually use the little guy and kind of, for lack of a better word, pretend it's a pencil to get my first few objects on the shoe kind of placed out, to know where to put my bigger ones, and then start filling them in with little guys, and then go back in, do the detailing, thicken up the lines, and kind of get the overall look that I'm going for on this. So we're going to start here on the side panel. As you can see, it kind of goes on, dries super quick, so pretty much about as good as it gets when it's like that. And this little guy, actually don't really want to press too hard, because it's almost like a paintbrush tip. So if you press hard, it'll actually make a thicker line, but it also kind of dull up your tip and not give you the crisp lines. So by the time you get to the other side of the shoe, it's going to not look as refined, basically. I like this color a lot. It almost actually looks like it's supposed to be there. A little bit offset from the imprint that they do, but it's a nice contrast. The lighter pressure, you use this little pin for, the skinnier the line you're going to get. So if you want to go in for detailing, it's a good call to do that. Also notice, I don't know if the camera picks it up, but the slower that you move the pin, the darker the first layer is going to come out. So that one I did fast, it's a little bit lighter. This one's a little bit darker. So what you would do is you'll want to go back in here and darken this one up so it kind of looks uniform and not spotchy. These pins were originally used for not originally, they still are. They're used for basically touch-ups, changing stitches, doing little minor details, or fixing scuffs on shoes. They're not really meant for doing full-blown artwork on the shoe. Doesn't mean you can't use them for that. It just means that if you are going to order, I would suggest they're about $3 a pop. Order $10 worth. Order 3 of them, and that'll get you enough so your tips stay fresh, and you can kind of use one for the outline, another one to go back in and thicken up the lines, and your final one for the nice crisp details. That way it looks good and doesn't look all mushy and mashy by the time you get to your second shoe. And basically now I'm going to pick a couple key parts of the artwork that I like on here and fill it in with the gold to give it a little bit of a pop and a contrast. It comes out a little bit dark, but then it starts to dry out. You'll see the difference here. Alright guys, so here's the finished product, the fully custom freestyle off the top of my head Timbs, and basically started out with a blank, went over them, came out with this. Basically inside the tongue, outside the tongue, all around, nice and soft. The heat didn't change at all. It's got good texture just like the original Timbs do. It'll be totally waterproof and stain repellent once we spray it with that outside. So that's that. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys like it. Leave your comments below and look forward to more videos from us coming soon. Thanks.